All right, so now we have our workload management cluster up. We can see that we have the cluster running. We got a control plane node IP address. This is just going to bring you to a friendly little page that says, hey, this is how you use Kubernetes. Here's a way to download our certificate, blah, blah, blah. Not a huge deal there. For our updates, this is the fun one here, is that we can look at previous versions. So these are the previous versions of uh, Kubernetes. Latest update, version 1.18, Kubernetes 1.18.2. We can go ahead and take a look at what's going on in here. So, yep, new and improved. So it'll give you all the notes. That's obviously if you're connected to the internet. So let's go ahead and go back over to our host and clusters. Take a look at the namespaces. So we've got. We can go ahead and see what all can be done here. Look at our resource pools. See what VMs are involved. If we go over here to our cluster and we go down to our namespaces, we can take a look. We can add certificates. So we've got certificates here, but we can replace those. Our storage is going to show what we're doing, what our network settings are, general information. We can also set up a content library. So this is where we would want to have, showing here, this contains latest distributions of Kubernetes and accompanying OS. So if we wanted to have our own content library, we can do that. The important piece here is the image registry. Now we're going to get a VMware version, for vSphere 7 of Harbor. Harbor was created by VMware. It was an open source project. They are beyond what we're going to get in here. So they have it set up as a complete CI/CD pipeline, full suite of tools if you were to install this from a separate source. But this is the easy button. This is the enable Harbor easy button. There we go. It's going to go ahead and start creating this. Here's our namespace. Yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead and show us everything that's going on in there. If we were to click on the namespace, it's going to show us running. It is going to start pulling pods. Oh, it does need the library. There we go. So now we should get our system registry to begin its configuration. There we go. And let's see what happens when we refresh. There we go. We got 7 pods. You can see them start to get built out, turned on. All 7 pods are enabled. So as far as the content library, that is something that will need to be created kind of on a web server. I believe that the header that it's looking for is going to look something like this. So you have a little JSON file inside your content library. We can go ahead and completely clone a content library. Just get the entire thing and then put it up inside of basic Python environment and point our vSphere server over at that. So once you have that running, should be able to take a look at it and see. It's frustrating whenever these things don't automatically update and you get your full graph. So we have success here for all of these pieces. Active, running, good to go there. We can go ahead and take a look at what the policies are, where the services are running, ingress and endpoint. So it has, you can get fairly in depth with it here. Storage obviously is going to be, hey, this is how much storage you have. This is, how it looks for us, how much compute you're using. Also, it is nice seeing all of your pods and being able to see the green check marks. So you can take a look at all of your different piece parts here. And when we go back up here into the cluster, we can go ahead and take a look at our image registry. Still starting. Once this finishes, we're going to end up with the ability to look at the Harbor UI. So once that Harbor UI is available, then we'll be able to go ahead and log into it. And we can go ahead and pull the SSL root certificate, which would allow us to attach it into our environment for our kube control commands. There we go. So we have an IP address. We should be able to get to that now. I believe that because I have set this up in the past, I may have a conflict with the certificate, so it may not allow me to get there. Yeah, fairly certain it's not going to allow me to get there. And in NSX, believe that it should have a few additional segments now. Actually, easiest way to look at this. Yeah, so we've added 2 additional segments for Harbor to run on inside of the C1006 domain. So not a whole lot added there. There's obviously some back-end stuff that's going to be happening. And I believe I may be able to get to it from here. All right. There we go. And this automatically integrates with VMware. So the single sign-on should work without issue. Yeah, tell it to save. Now we can see projects, see logs. This is very, very basic, intro. You've just set this up. This is all that you really have here. Obviously, the administrator is not going to have control of anything here. So if we go back over, take a look, believe inside of the cluster, we can go ahead and right click, tell it new namespace, and we're going to put that right. Yes, it does not want capital letters. We hit create right there. It will go ahead and create that namespace. So we have a namespace, but no pods running in the namespace. We can add permissions and go ahead and say, okay, let's go with funlab.local. Look for, there we go. And I'm allowed to edit. All right. Looking good there, right? All right, so let's go ahead and log out here. Aaron at funlab.local. And I have access to the development piece here. So we can go ahead and add repositories, all that good stuff. Also, if I use that as a login through a shell, then I just go ahead and add a certificate. And now I have kube control commands able to get in there, log in. I can identify what's going on, make changes, push pull, all that good stuff. So your typical registry commands here, your ability to establish YAML for the Kubernetes environment elsewhere. So this is all just easy push through, get it all, up and running, and able to use Harbor to establish your namespace environment, build your pods, run your Kubernetes, take over the world. We have PaaS. All right. All right.